Hi friends, if you have wanted to get a tattoo removed, I'm going to be giving you all the details on my tattoo removal, where I did it, how much it cost, did it hurt, why I did it, and just all of the things that you need to know. So keep on watching. So I got my tattoo when I was 18 or 19. When I was really young. Ever since I was 16 or 17, I always loved the sun. I love what it represented: sunshine, positivity, light. It reminded me of when I was younger. My family and I would go to California. We would go to Disneyland, and it's always sunny in California, so I just always knew that I wanted a sun. It is really beautiful. The work was done really well, but it's just really big, especially because I'm a really small and petite girl. This tattoo kind of takes up like my whole shoulder part of my arm, and two, there's a huge space in the middle, and I realized after we finished that I would need to fill it with something. I just didn't know what to fill it with, and so the whole 2 years that I had it, it was never on my mind to fill that part of the tattoo. I think that subconsciously I knew that I didn't want to keep the tattoo, so I was like, what's the point of adding more? So the reason I'm getting it removed now is because I just realized when I was doing my vision board for 2021, I really wanted to take care of my health and my body and my look, just to feel confident in myself. It was cute and all, I liked it while it lasted, it was a conversation starter, but it's just not me anymore, and I just don't want it anymore. So when I started my tattoo removal process, of course you have to look into like the details of it. Does it cause scarring? How many sessions do I have to go? Where do I go to? All of the things. I think with this is something that you really want to get done by somebody that you trust, especially because there can be scarring, there can be hyperpigmentation, and I didn't want any of that, especially because it's on a visible spot. So I had started looking for places right before I was 21. I looked for places in the Seattle Bellevue area, and then I found 3 of them that I went to go have consultations done at. The first one, it was the office space, and the vibe that I was getting, I just didn't really like it. And I feel like your office space is a representation of the business, right? Like how well you treat your space is how well you'll treat your clients, and so that is something that's really important to me, especially having worked in the aesthetic field. The second one, the office space also wasn't very nice. I remember going in and I remember sitting, and you know when you ask a question, he would say no. Like maybe he would give like 4 words to his answer. I just feel like I'm asking these questions and I would like for them to elaborate more, so I just wasn't getting a great vibe from that place. And so then the last place that I went to for a consultation was Nassifee Rejuvenation Center. Angel number. Oh, push. Obviously that's a sign for a reason. I'm so late, Lord. Elevator, come. Which one do you guys think? Okay, well, it's too late. The elevator decided for us. We need 1. I'm gonna have to call them when we get up here, so. Hi guys. I knew that it was a reputable place because I had been there before. I went there for my microneedling with PRP, and the service provider was really helpful. It was so knowledgeable. Right when I got in there, I knew that I was gonna go there because the way that the service provider answered my questions was so spot on. It was just the vibe that I needed. So yeah, that's how we chose Nassifee Rejuvenation Center. So I had gone when I was 20 or so years old, figured out the pricing. They quoted me $250 per session. She told me that I would need anywhere from 6 to 10 sessions. So fast forward to 2021, I was 22 years old, and this is when I decided to do it. The reason that I decided to wait is because if you purchased it in a package of 3, you saved 10%, and if you purchased it in a package of 6, you saved 20%. So I wanted to save the money and just pay for it up front because I knew that I was gonna have that cost later on. So I went in for the consultation, she gave me the quoting, I paid for it, and then I made my appointment to get it done. So the removal session, it was $250 per session, but with the 6-session package, I got 20% off, so I ended up paying $1,200. But if you do get like filler, or if you get microneedling or anything like that, what they do at Nassifee is if I pay $1,200 for a service, they transfer that $1,200 into points. I knew that I wanted to go to Nassifee for other services, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna go there because that will make my money worth it. I remember I came home from my consultation that day, and my dad, he goes, so how much does it cost? And I said $1,200, and he said, and how much did you pay for the tattoo? And I said $250. So learn from me. If you're thinking about getting a tattoo and somehow you found this video, just really think about it. Okay, so what is the laser tattoo removal? It's basically the process that they take a laser and they zap your tattoo. Your body metabolizes it. Right after she does the laser, your tattoo gets really white. It looks like faded ink with like a white frosty layer on top of it. So over the next 6 to 10 weeks or so, your body will basically just metabolize the pigment. So the day you get home, it will just look like somebody up your arm, and then the week later it'll just look bruised. The pigment will look the exact same, at least for me, because my body doesn't metabolize it pretty quickly. Then like around the 3rd to 4th week, you can definitely notice it starting to get lighter. Around like 6 to 8 weeks, you can totally notice that it's getting lighter. So yeah, don't expect results quickly at all. This is a process that takes a really long time to do. So your tattoo's bruised for the next like week or two. By the week mark, it would start to turn into like that yellow green color, and then by the 2nd week, it would be all gone. So I think I made the appointment in January 2021. It was with a girl named Rachel, who I love. Rejuvenize with Rachel. She's so sweet. So far, I've had 3 sessions done. I think that I'll end up needing 6 to 8 sessions. Hopefully 6, but we will see. And I'm obviously only halfway through the process, so it's not completely gone, maybe a little bit less than halfway, but everybody's body eats the pigment or breaks down the pigment differently. Rachel has pictures on her Instagram where one guy went in, and after his first session, it had lightened so much. It almost looked like it lightened like how mine did in 2 sessions, so everybody's skin is different. They recommend going in for your laser tattoo removal sessions anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, just because your body needs some time to break down that pigment. Plus, you want your skin to heal before you go in again. So the first time I went was January 19th. After that, I went 6 weeks later because, you know, I had been waiting 2 years. So I was super excited to get it removed. And I just wanted it to be as light as possible before summer because I knew I wanted to take a break to just let my skin not have to go through the whole process during that warm time. So I went in 6 weeks later, but when I went in, Rachel wasn't happy with how quickly my body was breaking down the pigment. So she suggested I come back in 8 to 10 weeks. So first session, 6 weeks later, went in for my second session. Then 9 weeks later, I went in for my third session. I definitely noticed more of an improvement waiting the 9 weeks instead of the 6 weeks. So if your body isn't breaking down the pigment as quickly, just wait longer in between sessions. It's not ideal, but you want to get the most for your money. So it's definitely worth it just to wait it out. What else? So before going in, there isn't really a prep that you have to do. I would say just eat before you go because, oh girl, you're gonna be sweating. You're gonna be like, oh my God. You don't feel nauseous or anything like that. It's not like so brutal to the point where you feel like you have to throw up, at least not for me. But I do remember it getting so hot and so sweaty because it's just literally a laser zapping you. And once you get it on your bone part, or like underneath, like where the skin is more thin and where it's more sensitive, it just hurts like a so definitely eat before you go, eat a big meal, drink a lot of water for like the 48 hours before you go, and maybe before you go you can even drink some electrolytes just so your body is really hydrated. Oh, and then cut out caffeine for the first 48 to 72 hours before you go too. If you drink caffeine, it's not like anything bad will happen, but if you have an event that you need to go to or whatever and you don't want the bruising to show, caffeine does not allow your body to heal as quickly, so the bruises will last a little bit longer. So try to avoid caffeine if you can. Not absolutely necessary, and a lot of people start doing it during fall because you don't want your tattoo exposed to sun before or after the service. For one, you want your skin to be the exact color that it naturally is because the laser picks up your skin pigment. So you know how there's the Fitzpatrick scale? You want your skin tone to be in your true Fitzpatrick scale. So for the first 2 weeks before your appointment, don't go out into the sun. If you do, just wear like a t-shirt or something, like a long sleeve to cover that, or you can even put band-aids on. So that's the prep for the tattoo removal. Afterwards, all you really have to do is not apply a lot of pressure to your tattoo and use aloe vera on it every day, like 2 to 3 times a day. When I went, Rachel told me that I could use it once a day. My skin is really dry, so I feel like this is normal for me to have to do it more than once a day. Basically, you just don't want it to dry out. You just take a little bit of aloe vera, you cover it all over, and then you just just let that soak in, and it takes about 10 minutes to soak in. So during that time, I'll just leave it bare, and then I'll put a t-shirt or a long sleeve on just to cover it and not have it exposed. And you want to use the aloe vera for about a week afterwards. You're still gonna have bruising, but your skin isn't so dry to the point where it's like crusty and crispy. So I normally stop using it after 7 or 8 days. And then you want to wait 2 weeks after getting the session to go in sun too. So when I did my third session, I got it 2 weeks before I was going to Vegas, because I knew that for one, the bruises would all be gone, and two, my skin would be healed to the point where it could tolerate being in the sun for hours. So let's talk about the pain. I mean, it's really, really quick, okay? So I would rate the pain level, I would do honestly like a 5 or 6. It is really painful, but I'm taking away points because it doesn't really take a long time to do. So the pain is bearable. So because it's really quick, my whole tattoo probably takes 2 minutes to do. She just wants to literally touch the laser to it, and then she moves it along. She gives me a little squeezy ball, so that's nice to let the pain out on something. But how my body reacts to it is I just get really, really hot. You do start to sweat a little bit, but it only takes 2 minutes. I mean, just squeeze the dang ball and you'll get through it, you know? It feels kind of like a really warm zapping. Just imagine like taking a rubber band and they just literally, it's really, really fast, this laser, okay? So it feels like it's zapping you 20 times in 1 second. It's like zzz. On certain areas where the skin is thinner, or on like the more bony areas, or even where the pigment is darker or denser, because the laser has to use more power for that part, right? Whereas if it's just a really small line or the shadow isn't as dark, then the laser doesn't have to do as much work, so it doesn't hurt as badly. But if it's really, really dark and a big section of that dark shadow or line or whatever, then the laser is gonna have to use more power and it's gonna hurt a little bit more. But honestly, it's not too bad. I mean, remember to breathe during the process. That's what I have to do. Rachel's like, remember to breathe. And I'll just squeeze the ball, and you know, if you need to take a break, she'll take a break for you. And normally I do about like halfway through, and then we'll power through whatever else we can. But breaks are necessary, I would say. Let's see how long it's been since my last session. So my last session was May 4th, which was 5 weeks and 3 days ago. So let's take a look at my tattoo now, as it's about halfway through with the laser tattoo removal. So as you can tell, there's definitely still some areas that it's really, really dark, but there are definitely some areas that have lightened up a ton. So initially, the only lines that I really saw a difference from on my first session was the lines on the middle of the sun, or in these little points. That's what I noticed lifted, because the lines were a lot lighter, so they lifted easier. The rest of the sun and like where the shadowing is and the outline of the sun took a little bit longer. So now after 3 sessions, I noticed a huge difference. But on the first and second session, it really wasn't too crazy. But yeah, I think that was everything. So let me know down in the comments, are you guys hoping to get a tattoo removed? Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to help, because I know I couldn't really find a lot of videos when I was looking through getting it done, and I really wanted to hear different people's perspectives. So hopefully I covered everything, but if you have any questions, leave the comments down below and I'll get back to you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck with your tattoo removal journey, sis. Like seriously, if you're going through that, it's really, really tough just to even make the decision, and then it's really tough even just to start, you know? A lot of people will give you for it, but the thing is, if this is gonna make you happy and you know deep down that you want it gone, just do it. Like, you're living your life for you, not for anybody else. So hopefully I could be helpful, and I wish you good luck in your tattoo removal journey. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.